I remember Tampa, the way she used to be, the places we would run to, the faces we would see. Yes, I remember Tampa, her sweet, soft memories, a city rising on the move, a simple yet progressive groove. Yes, I remember Tampa, she remembers me.
Welcome to the Tampa Native Show. Stay tuned now for the most entertaining 60 minutes from the studios at TBCN, Tampa Bay Community Network. Join your hosts Mario Nunez and Steve Canella as they celebrate growing up in Tampa. From Shakey's to Shock Armstrong, Braddock Street and Buffalo Avenue, get ready to call in and tell us your stories, because sharing those memories has never been this much fun. And now, here's your hosts, Mario Nunez and Steve Canella.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second season of the Tampa Native Show. My name is Mario Nunez, and I'm seated alongside my co-host,
Steve Canella.
Steve Canella, a.k.a. Tampa Steve, and we're so happy that you're out there with us. We have quite a show in store for you tonight, Steve.
It's going to be incredible. Just look at that background.
Listen, that's a foreshadowing of things to come. Look at that background.
Is that incredible?
Does anybody know what that is out there? Yeah, that would be the Starship Enterprise. And that takes us immediately back to a time of our youth, to flights of fancy, to the space program. Well, listen, we're tickled to death to have you out there. We know that we're picking up new viewers each and every week. Steve and I talk about it during the week and while we're in pre-production. And we're very excited to know that we're picking up momentum and picking up viewers.
Very fast, too, isn't it, Mario?
It's
incredible. It really is.
I would say that viewership is up exponentially.
By leaps and bounds.
I think so.
Yeah.
2, 4, 8, 16.
Oh, yeah.
Well, listen, let's do a little bit of letting everybody know what happened to us today, because today was kind of somewhat of a big day in the life of this little show that could. And we'll review some of that with you now. First of all, this morning early, Steve, what did we do this morning early? I had an opportunity to meet with Stephanie Petrocelli and Rick Jansen from Radiant Oil downtown in Ybor City at the offices. And consequently, you know, we talked about some upcoming events and how our Tampa Native Show can join forces with the Festa Italiana. And I think that I can say with a great amount of enthusiasm, we're going to be a presence this year for the first time.
It's going to be exciting,
at the 14th annual Festa Italiana. And we're terribly, terribly excited about that. Stephanie, Rick, thanks so much for your time this morning, for your generosity. And we look forward to working with you not only during Festa, but all throughout the coming year. Also, who else did we speak to today?
Well, spoke to a dear friend of Tampa Natives, Lisa Figueredo, publisher of Cigar City Magazine. You may have seen that magazine around different places, and that's all over Tampa. And anyway, was really fun things coming around the corner with that publication, and we'll give you more details as we go along. So stay tuned for that.
Lisa, thanks again for your time and your graciousness, and for lending your ideas and your support to our evolving show, the Tampa Native Show. Also this morning, on the way after leaving the meeting in Ybor City, had the occasion to stop by Amaryllis and More out in West Tampa. It's one of our favorite West Tampa coffee shops, and of course, one of the show's biggest fans and sponsors. Well, who do I see coming out of the shop at the time that we're just about to walk in? But dear friends, Wayne Vigil and Bobby Lastra. And now, I haven't seen these guys probably in the better part of, well, I've seen Wayne more recently than I've seen Bobby, but it's been a long, long time. And both of these guys knew me when I was a little tyke running around, Little League Diamonds in Tampa. And so we had a nice conversation, and I'm telling them, hey, have you heard about this new show that we've got going on, Steve Canella and the 15-Minute Girl and I? And they both stopped in their tracks and said, of course. And I said, well, wait a minute, I haven't seen you in years. How did you know? I said, well, your parents told us. I said, well, when did you see my parents? They're inside eating breakfast. So we went inside afterwards. I had a wonderful lunch, actually, with my mom and my pops, and just tickled to death that everybody is kind of rallying around this show, and to know that it's growing like this. Now, I got to say, Steve, and you know my mom and dad pretty well also. They are I know three things about my parents that I can share with you. One, they love me. Yeah. Two, they're our biggest fans. And three, Yeah, they're our biggest critics as well.
Well, that's true.
So my mom will be the first one to tell you, honey, the show was great tonight, but I saw your legs under the table for the whole show. Thanks, Mom.
We should probably change that order around too. Probably critics first.
Well, and my pop, yeah, because save the sugar for the end. And my pop will be the first one to tell you, oh, yeah, the show was very, very good, but you're talking too much. Let the callers talk. So I told him, I said, I'm going to try my best tonight, Pop. But tonight's topic is going to be one of those that it's going to be difficult at best for me to control myself.
You know, Mario, just backing up for a second, you mentioned Amarili's restaurant, and that place is just incredible. I mean, every time I go there, I run into somebody that I haven't seen in maybe 20, 30 or more years. And it's like speaking of a small town, that is a quintessential small town at that place. It's just incredible. You never know who you're going to run into there. So
no, the place is rapidly becoming the place to see and be seen.
There you go.
And we're tickled to have them as one of our sponsors.
Absolutely.
And then there's a little bit more today. One of those whirlwind days when things just everything lined up. We got an email earlier from a gentleman named Fred Tomasello, and we have to mention Fred Tomasello, Jefferson High School class of '62. He heard about us from one of our sponsors, Mr. Michael Brocato, who of course is Brocato's Sandwich Shop out there on 50th. And he's telling me, I asked him, I said, well, yo, Tomasello. I said, by any chance, Fred, do you have a brother named Joe? He goes, yeah, that's my younger brother. And I said, wow, I went to school with Joe. Where's he at now? Joe, within an hour and a half, I get an email from Joe. I haven't heard from Joe in probably the better part of, again, 25 years. So we get reconnected. Fred Tomasello is a Vietnam veteran and recently wrote a book that's been published, and it's about his experience, sort of, but a local feel with a West Tampa kind of a slant and angle. And he's going to be having a book signing. And I didn't tell you this earlier today. I kind of saved the surprise for you. Fred is going to be giving us one of his books.
Oh, nice.
Signed, much like
that's
Richard
awesome.
did for us, so that we can offer it to one of our lucky viewers.
Fantastic. I'm glad to hear that. That's great.
That's the kind of morning we had today here at the Tampa Native Show. So everything's coming up roses.
That is incredible. That's incredible.
Stevie, what did you do today?
Well, you know what,
Tell me
Mario?
what you did.
Yeah, I worked today.
There you go. Steve was working.
What did I do today?
Mario had the day to go out there and do some Tampa Native Show business, and I'm thankful that I did.
Oh, yeah.
Because sometimes you got to take meetings in the middle of the day.
Very productive.
And work can sometimes get in the way. Of course, my hours are unconventional, so I have the good fortune of being available throughout the course of the day. Now,
do we have a show tonight or what?
Oh, no. Listen. We're going to get right to the phones here shortly. Before we put up, Jeffrey, the phone number, we do have a public service announcement. And for those of you that are in the business, that's referred to as a PSA. And if you'd like to, Jeff, cue that PSA up, feel free to run that now. And everybody, just give a listen while we run a public service announcement.
Hi, my name is Nina. Hi, my name is Katie. Hi, my name is Jaylene.
In the studio, yes, mics are up and running. What an incredible, you know what?
That was nice.
And of course, this would be a wonderful time to let everybody know tonight's theme, as if you don't know already. Look at that picture behind us. That's the amazing Fred Gwynn, and those two protagonists were played in what TV show?
That was Car 54, Where Are You?
One of your favorites.
Right, and that's actually Herman Munster as and Gunther Tootie and Muldoon. That's their character names.
Yes.
But it was Joe Ross and Herman Munster.
Herman Munster.
Yeah.
Fred Gwynn, the great Fred
Okay,
Gwynn.
yeah.
Before he became Herman Munster.
That's right.
1950s. Hey, we've got somebody on our line right away. Should we go here? Listen, I don't know who's calling, but it says right here in the caller ID, telephone pole. That's
the top of the telephone pole.
Well, let's see who this is. Tonight's topic is television shows of our youth. Let's see who's on the line. Caller, you're on the air with the Tampa Native Show. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Mr. Douglas, this is Eustace C. Haney from Hooterville, near Pixley.
Mr.
Wow.
Haney,
From Green Acres.
a voice from our past. No wonder the caller ID said telephone pole. Well, Mr. Haney, how are you?
Well, I'm fine, and you?
I'm doing good. Say hello to Steve and the 15-minute girl.
Well, hello there. How are you?
Hey, Mr. Haney, have you seen Hank Kimball lately?
Yes, I have. I know you're busy plowing your Green Acres now, but I climbed this here telephone pole for this urgent message for $500.
Okay, well, very good. Well, you be careful up on that pole. What else is going on in your world?
Native show, and it's all about growing up in Tampa. You remember the 32-cent gallon for gas, don't you?
Of course we do.
Them days, Mr. Douglas, when Mickey Mantle and President Kennedy hand-rolled cigars together?
Yes, we remember that as well.
Good. Well, on this show, you get to call in your memories to those fellers and that pretty lady they call the 15-minute girl.
Oh, she sure is a pretty lady, isn't she?
She is, isn't she?
We do appreciate her as well. Mr. Haney.
Mr. Haney called in. I can't believe
She's
that.
got Arnold glued to that TV set when she's...
Oh, Mr. Haney, are you still with us?
Mr. Haney, I still have a genuine pick for 15 cents with $41,000 for shipping and handling.
Oh, my.
That's funny.
Well, Mr. Haney, we're so tickled that you climbed up that telephone pole just to get a hold of us. We're showing a picture right here on the screen. Of course, there's the original
there's Mr.
cast,
Haney.
and there you are, upper right-hand corner of that picture. Upper
My younger
left-hand corner.
days.
And Mr. Haney, you sound just like you did back in the 60s
Yes,
and
you
70s.
do.
Well, the voice doesn't change much, but the bones do.
Yes, of course, of course. Well, listen, we just want to extend the invitation for you to call us anytime. Not just when we're talking about old shows, of course, which you were one of the featured stars, but you can call us anytime. We'd love to hear from you.
Well, I appreciate that, but, I don't want to get the splinters caught too much in my legs going up the pole.
Yeah, be safe now. Be careful.
Be very careful,
Yeah, it's dangerous.
because shimmying down might be a challenge as well.
Might be quick.
Well, thank you very much. And Sam Drucker says hi, too, and sharing your memories has never been this much fun.
Well, Mr. Haney, we so appreciate you. Thank you
That's
for
great.
calling.
Bye-bye now.
Thanks, Mr.
Bye,
Haney.
Mr. Haney. Bye-bye.
Well, he tried to sell us something, too. Like
Isn't that amazing?
That's incredible.
Well, we've
huh?
got another caller. We might as well just go to the caller.
jump right in.
Let's go right to it. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
This is Amos McCoy, and I've been into this household for 40 years, son.
Oh, no.
Mr. McCoy.
Oh, no.
Oh, Mr. McCoy. Now,
Wow.
see,
We are reliving the past,
yes,
aren't we?
we are. Listen,
Wow.
we just had a call from Mr. Haney, and he had worked himself up a telephone pole. Now, where are you calling from, Mr. McCoy?
That's what it is, son. This is Hugh from South Tampa.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Hugh, how are you?
That's too funny.
Hey, you're good and real McCoy, all of you.
Walter Brennan, live and well in the person of Hugh Perret. Hey, listen, we should say now, while you're on the phone, let us tell you as well, Hugh, for those of you at home, that Mr. Haney spot-on impersonation was none other than our DSC, which is our Deep South correspondent. That's Ricky T. Parnell calling us
Calling from
calling
Brazil.
us on his magic jack all the way from Curitiba, Brazil.
That's incredible.
Pat Buttram, wasn't it? I think that was Pat
Pat Buttram from the grave, who's calling us from Brazil. It's a fascinating story. But thank you so much for that call. And oh yeah, Hugh, no kidding, that was a spot on. That's
That
a
was
spot
great.
on. That's
Man.
a spot on Walter Brennan.
That was
Thank you,
perfect.
son. I appreciate it.
Just say for us one time before you get off the phone, Hugh. Tell us what's the matter, Pepina. Go ahead.
Yeah, Pepita, good, right?
That's funny.
I get to believe it tonight?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
absolutely.
Okay.
What's
I'm going to go with number 35.
35.
Oh, dead
We've
center.
got you down, Hugh. Hugh, you know we've been waiting to hear from you all season, and we're so glad that you called tonight.
Remember the song, the song to Car 54, Where Are You?
Yeah.
There's a holdup in the Bronx.
Oh,
Brooklyn,
yeah.
Out in fights.
That's right.
Traffic jam in Harlem that's backed up to Jackson Heights. There's a scout troop short a child. Cruise ships do it idle wild. Car 54, where are you?
Hugh, you watched a lot of Car 54, didn't you? That's my favorite show, actually.
That was hysterical. I mean,
Oh.
the whole New York Police Department watched it. Mm-hmm. They were some of the biggest fans.
Wasn't that hilarious?
Oh, it was a riot.
It was great writers back then. Back
And
in
you
those
know
days.
who also Grandpa Al Lewis was Officer Schnauzer, I think. He was a regular on the show.
Oh, and
Oh, yeah.
he was terrific. Of course, they worked together later, Grandpa and the Munsters, but Al Lewis was a riot.
Absolutely. And he was
yeah.
also a pro basketball scout, talent hunter.
Wow.
And did a stand-up routine, a nightclub routine that was pretty blue, from what I understand. Al had a penchant like none other to dabble in profanity a little bit. That's what I understand. He was because I think he got his early start in vaudeville, so some of that carried over.
I didn't know that. He was great though. That was a great show.
Funny man,
That
funny
was-
man.
Each segment was hilarious and well thought of too. Just great.
Yeah. Well, I sure really enjoy your show, and I've been having to DVR it because this time I'm on vacation now, but the time is not always good for me, so I've been having to DVR it. But I enjoy it.
Do us a small favor, bid us adieu as Mr. McCoy.
Well, good, Sean. I hope you have a good evening and really enjoy the show, Sean.
Thank you so much, Hugh.
Real McCoy. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I think he is the real McCoy.
That's wonderful.
That's great. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, Mario, Steve Joe Beanie calling.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
Glad you called in.
Good, guys. How you doing tonight?
We're doing
man,
wonderful.
we're gonna have
Better
a
now
great-
that you.
yeah,
Listen,
great
we've
show
already
tonight.
had two calls. One from what was his first name? The real McCoy. Was it Amos McCoy? We had a call from Mr. McCoy, and we had a call from the real McCoys, and a call from Mr. Haney from Green Acres.
Yeah.
Are you going to do a voice for us, Joe?
No, don't do voices. Don't do voices. I've been watching it. I've been listening and watching it on Ustream, so it's working fine.
Is
Oh,
it
good. That's good to know.
Okay, good.
Ustream, Jeffrey, Ustream is working fine. Joe Abini says
Good to
from
hear.
Seminole.
Good to hear.
Well, tell us your favorite show, Joe.
Well, it's kind of hard because I sat down with my wife to kind of think through this to see what was there,
Too many
and
of
there's
them.
so many shows that, the Ed Sullivan, the Jack Benny, the Jackie Gleason, the Red Skelton, Dragnet. I mean, things that my parents would be watching that we had to watch. But I remember, like the Lone Ranger and Maverick and Rawhide and
Rawhide.
Remember
The
who played
Westerns.
Rawhide?
We didn't have Rawhide.
That was Clint Eastwood.
Cisco Kid and Zorro and I'm one of the guys that watched Sky King. So
Sure, we've got a photo of that coming up a little bit later
yeah.
if we can get to it in this show. The problem that we had, and here I go talking too much.
We had-
again.
yeah.
The problem that we had was deciding how to narrow this thing down, Joe, because
Yeah.
when we started to put meat on the bone for this show, we realized we were overwhelmed. I mean, we could theoretically do a show on a given genre, like variety shows, or westerns, or comedies, because there was so much
There was.
incredible programming being done in the late 50s through the 70s.
Literally hundreds and hundreds of shows.
so much good stuff out there, I think,
Yeah, we just can't do it in an hour. Joe, amazingly, I got your email at the same time you called in, too. So thanks for sending that email in.
Right. Yeah, I sent it in because the list is just enormous to
Yeah.
try to read. I mean, like Howdy Doody Show. I mean,
Oh, I know.
that kind of stuff like that, But it was nice. But Star Trek, if I had to put something down on my list that I wanted to watch every time it came on, that would be Star Trek.
Well, and there's the picture.
Yeah.
You say the word Star Trek, and Jeffrey's all over it. He's got, and a little bit later on, we've got the entire cast. We've got the entire cast of the Starship Enterprise. We've got a wonderful photo of that. But that's a terrific
That's
backdrop.
great. It looks like it's right
there.
behind us,
Yeah,
doesn't
it
it?
does. It does. It looks like we're out in space somewhere.
We're lost in
All right.
space.
I'll let
Warning,
you go. My Belina number 3,
You didn't even have to tell me that, Joe. We know you
Yeah.
already. We know you.
and I'm gonna select Mike's Delivery.
Mike's
Okay, good.
Delivery. We forgot to ask Hugh, his sponsor of the week. Thanks for bringing, sometimes we get a little bit sidetracked. Hugh, if you're out there listening and you want to send us an email or call us real quick and let us know your sponsor of the week, because the 15-minute girl is going to be bringing something to the table when she comes up, and it'll be,
Yeah, that's
and we'll
exciting.
give that away to one lucky viewer tonight. Joe, thank you so much.
Thanks, and thank you so much for the other night at our coming to my ball game. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
We'll
we
be
had a good
there
time.
again for you. Listen, we'll be there. We love to watch baseball. We'll be there again.
Great. I look forward to it.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You know, the calls are hot and heavy.
Let's go.
We talked about this.
Let's keep going.
Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name, where you're calling from.
Tony Gonzalez.
Oh, hey,
Tony, how are you?
Hey, thanks for calling in.
How you guys doing?
Good,
Good, Tony. Thanks for chiming in. Thanks for listen. This is right up your alley.
Hey,
He's got a
this
list.
is right. You're right there. I used to, and in those days they had all. I used to look at all the westerns, man.
Oh yeah.
25, 26 men, and everybody had a song.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Well, as you're speaking, Tony, there's the Bonanza scene right behind
You
us.
see that behind us?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They. That was Bonanza. That was on Sunday nights, I think it was.
Look at that Sunday night.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too, because some of these shows, I think what made it so impactful was they started in the black and white era, and we got involved in the show by the third or fourth season. Then all of a sudden they went to color, and it was like a whole new. We fell in love all over again.
Right.
Yeah, and the thing about it was,
like with me, a lot of the shows that came on TV, I used to listen when I was smaller on the radio.
Okay, you go all the way back to radio now. That doesn't mean that you're old or anything, Tony, 'cause we're not talking like that tonight. But you're right, though. And, you know, I mentioned my parents at the top of the show. Of course, my parents were young in the 30s, and it was only radio back then.
Yeah.
So they actually saw the inception of TV from the little tubes that had to warm up and the grainy images all the way to what we have now. That's pretty impressive.
Well, when I was a kid, we used to go, there was a place called Radio Center on 15th Street between 9th Avenue and 10th Avenue, and they had a TV in the window, and we'd go from the bakery around to the corner where it was, and we'd sit there at night and watch television.
Oh, it's incredible.
That's pretty cool
Tony,
stuff.
Tony, you know, there's no comparison to the old shows of the 60s and 70s.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
not at all. I mean, now you have the reality shows, series, sitcoms, but...
Well, you know,
there's no
truthfully, I'm not
comparison.
going to lie to you. Mostly I watch the Western Channel on cable.
There you go. Well, listen,
those are great.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, Tony, and say that you probably had 6 shooters as a kid. You probably had a lot of pictures with the guns and the cowboy hat. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. And my horse.
Oh my goodness! A real horse or like a broomstick with a palito with a mop?
Oh, I had 2 real horses when I was a kid.
Oh, wow. No wonder he liked
Oh
Westerns.
no! You bought and sold the West. You were completely into the West.
Now, my brother, which was a little older than me, now he went and joined they used to have a Sheriffs of West Tampa.
Yeah, the Sheriffs Association. I remember.
And he joined that because he was a cowboy, too.
Well, you must have liked
I was a
Mr. Ed,
cowboy.
too.
I still have my gun. Not toy gun, but
No, seguro.
I have my gun.
Oh yeah, Tony, we're gonna get together here coming up real quick because we know that we still owe you the hats from that you won last week.
Hey, just tell me when, give me an email.
I will, and we'll probably meet you up there at Brocados because
that's fine.
That seems like a natural.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, your lucky number?
31.
31, and do you have a sponsor of the week?
Yeah, La Segunda Central.
Oh boy. Okay.
I like the way he said that.
Yep.
Okay, fellas, take care.
Thank you so much, Tony. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
By the way, send some emails in too to show@tampanatives.com, and if we have a chance here, we'll read them on the air for you. But the calls are still coming
Here
in.
we go.
Caller, go ahead.
Sorry.
Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, this is Banks Smith up from Charleston, South Carolina.
Hey, there he is.
Thanks.
I tried to get you last week, but that's all right.
Thanks. We're happy that you're with us
Yeah.
again this week. Now, listen,
Exactly.
you got our email address. Real quick before we talk about the TV shows, send us your email. Send us your physical address because we owe you a coffee mug and we want to get that out to you.
Yes, sir. I'll be happy to do that tonight.
Very good.
Good.
Now, tell us, what was your favorite TV show growing up in Tampa, Banks?
Sea Hunt.
Oh my,
remember that?
little Lloyd
Oh, my
Bridges
gosh.
action right there, huh?
Absolutely.
Thanks. Wasn't that filmed in Ocala too at Silver Springs? A lot of that.
I believe it was.
It sure
Most
was.
of it was. And they got me into such a habit, I started scuba diving right after that.
Well, you know that
There
was
you
when
go.
that was in the days of the double hoses and the old tanks and the regulators. And I remember every week, man, his lungs would be bursting. He'd have 30 seconds of air, but he'd always get out of that mess every week.
Oh, those are the good old days.
Great television.
though?
We talked about it earlier with the previous caller, Tony Gonzalez. Amazing because TV was just about 10 or 15 years old when all of these great shows came out. And it wasn't watered down. You had 3 stations. Nobody paid for TV. Banks, nobody paid for TV.
Free.
Oh, no, we didn't. And after midnight, you didn't have anything to watch.
You used some of these right here, these rabbit ears right here. You know, you
You had to
were the
adjust them a
remote
little bit,
control,
you
right?
know?
You were the remote control because we sat closest to the TV and your father told you, hey, change the channel. You had to be the one to do that. But
It was an old Philco TV with the flat base and the round top that swiveled. And we were big time then.
and oh man, and you might have been the first one in your block to have one of those, and you had to wait a minute or two to warm it up because it was like
I
a
believe
tube.
we were.
What a
Wow.
well, those are great memories. And you know, we have TV now, programming now, but we have so many more channels. It's kind of like everything else in our world. We have so many more options, but the quality has been diminished.
It's different. Not the same.
Yes, sir, it has.
Well, Banks, we're so
Yep.
happy that you called. And how's things in South Carolina?
Oh, absolutely wonderful.
Good.
We've got a great day coming up tomorrow. I'm going to go put a round of golf in.
Oh,
for you.
listen,
Good, good.
it don't get much better than that. You having good weather?
Today was a little off and on, but we're headed for a very perfect weekend, 75
Beautiful.
and
Good.
sunny.
Springtime
sounds
is
nice.
just about there in South Carolina. That's wonderful. Before you go, you got to tell us your lucky number.
Let's go with 46 this week.
46, and do you have a sponsor of the week?
Yeah, what is it? The Red Wagon Landscape.
Red
Perfect,
Wagon.
perfect.
Thank you so much. Listen, we appreciate you being there. We'll
Yeah,
look forward
thanks.
to getting that email from you, and we'll get that coffee mug out to you. Because from what I understand, your morning coffee tastes a heck of a lot better when it's drunk out of one of these.
I've heard that too.
His daddy would be.
Thanks, Banks.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Great show.
Hey,
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much. Take care.
You know, Mario, this is amazing. The shows back then were fantastic. You know, there's no doubt about that. But I think why another reason we're so fond of these shows from the 60s and 70s is because it was more of a simpler time. You know, the Leave It to Beaver era.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of it has to do with that as well. It brings us back to that time frame. You know,
No question.
Things
No
were simpler.
question.
Like I said, free TV. We didn't have all these other accessories that we're paying for now, like cell phones and internet and you name it. But just a different era.
I totally agree with you.
yeah.
I would also go out on a limb and say that because television at the time was in its, you could say it was in its infancy. If nothing else, it was in its early adolescence. Because
Right.
if TV came in about the early 50s, 52, 53, with the Texaco, whatever it was, the Cavalcade of Stars and the Groucho Marx,
Right.
You Bet Your Life show, all of those black and white TV shows.
Oh yeah.
Then it
Honeymooners.
evolved. As it evolved, exactly. As it evolved in the 60s, now you had people gravitating towards Hollywood, and the writers
Right,
came,
right.
and then the program, it just got so rich. We were very fortunate, man. Very fortunate.
And the writers were just unbelievable back then.
Well,
It was incredible.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like everything else. Caller, we see you there. It's like everything else. You have many more high schools now. So when you make like an all-Western Conference team or an all-star team, you're
Kind of watered down.
Yeah, it's a little diluted,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and that's no slight on anybody that makes
Exactly.
a first honorable mention. But I'm just saying, competition was tough back then.
Back then.
Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, this is Hugh. I just wanted to give you the sponsor, okay?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And how about Alessi Bakery?
Well, we're working on Alessi right now, Hugh. They're not currently one of our sponsors, but if you go to our dedicated webpage, which is TampaNativeShow.com, you'll see all the sponsors there. Do you know another sponsor you want to take a crack at?
I'm trying to remember now.
Famous Spanish restaurant in Tampa.
Pardon?
Famous Spanish restaurant in Tampa. Most famous.
Big hint.
Columbia.
Oh, there you go. We'll put you down for the Columbia.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, I agree with you though. Both of you, the quality was so much better. You had
Yeah.
the channels, and there's no comparison with what's available today. The creativity, thought, I mean everything.
Look at that photograph there. Look, you've got Andy Griffith as a young man. Ronnie Howard, he's missing teeth. That's how young he is. Of course, and now he's missing hair. And then, of course, the late, great Don Knotts.
And that picture is an example of the simpler time I was talking
Funniest
about.
man on TV at that time.
Oh, wasn't he hilarious?
And we can talk all his movies.
Barney Fife.
His
Barney Fife.
movies, The Shakiest Gun in the West, The Reluctant Astronaut.
The Ghost of Mrs. Chicken.
Oh, please. The Amazing Mr. Limpet. That man there. And then he had a career in the 70s as well. He was Mr. Roper for a little while on Three's Company, wasn't he?
Right. And don't forget Shakiest Gun in the West.
That's right.
Yeah.
Shaky and what were the astronaut? I think you mentioned that.
Yeah, The Reluctant Astronaut.
Right.
Reluctant astronaut, right?
Remember, I mean, he would only have Andy would only give him one bullet, and it was usually in his shirt pocket.
That's right. He would always shoot him. Shoot himself. Or
Oh man! Well, thanks so much for calling back. I'm glad you got back through, and we've got you down for the Columbia Restaurant, and we've got lucky number
it was a
35.
treat always. So thank you very much.
Thanks,
You're
Tony.
the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Look at this picture here. The honeymooners.
Yeah. Norton, you know that I know.
One of these days, Alice.
One of these days.
To the moon.
Bam, boom, and the kisser. To the moon, Jackie Gleason.
What's another saying? How sweet it is.
No, come on. No, and the other one is whenever he'd get himself into a mess, he'd always end the scene with, "And I got a big mouth." Jackie Gleason, a man who, back in that time period, when TV was all live, before any kind of videotaping, and the man hated to rehearse. He was notorious for hating to That's how deep his talent was. Because he came on there,
It's unmatched.
cold read, bam, nailed it every time.
Nailed it every time.
Amazing.
Look at this picture here. This is one of my favorites. The Castaways,
well.
Gilligan's Island.
And it evokes the eternal question. Marianne or Ginger?
Marianne.
Steve, you're in front of 700,000 households. Marianne?
Marianne.
Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny?
What about you?
You
can't say, right?
No, a 15-minute girl knows this. I'm fancy to brunettes, but at this time in my life when this show was popular, I like Ginger.
Okay.
I like Ginger. Ginger was
that makes sense. We're opposite.
Red hair, and at that time, Anne Margaret was also hot. She had red hair, and there was a little Raquel Welch, although her hair was more auburn than it was red, but she was great with the mole and doing the whole Marilyn Monroe thing, and I always wondered. I always wondered if the skipper, you know what I mean? I'm not the skipper. Excuse me, the professor. The professor.
Oh.
Skipper was always too busy chasing after Gilligan. Little buddy would always get
we always had rumors about the professor.
Little, but
there was rumors. Well, you know, this is another example of the theme shows too. Like back then, they had the themes. You had like
Right.
the Castaways on an Island, Deserted Island. You had the Munsters living at what street address?
1313 Mockingbird Lane.
Good memory.
Hello. Look at this
But,
picture.
here's another one.
I mean, Irene Ryan, Donna Douglas, who I met
Max
before.
Max Baer?
Max Baer Jr., because Max Baer Sr. was the professional boxer, and of course the wonderful who started his career in again vaudeville as a dancer. Most people know that anyway. That's not a revelation. What was his name?
Jed Clampett.
Come on. What was his real name?
He was Barnaby Jones.
Close.
And,
I'll give you his initials. Ready?
Ready.
B.E.
You know what? I know it. I'm drawing a blank.
Buddy
Epson.
Buddy Epson.
Got it.
Yep,
Sorry.
Buddy
Yep.
Epson. Yeah.
That's it. What was one of the lines that Jethro used to always say? You remember?
Well, let me see. Put it in context for me.
Well, he had two choices. He wanted to either be two professions he wanted to choose from.
Oh, one of them was an astronaut.
Well, I think
Wasn't it?
I thought it was he either wanted to be a short order cook or a brain surgeon.
Yeah, I knew one of them was very intense. I knew one of them was
That was his two choices. Yeah.
Oh, Jethro. Jethro, whenever he'd go to the cupboard to get breakfast, he'd come back with a huge bowl. Remember?
Yeah.
And he'd put the whole box of cornflakes in the bowl. But again, look at the concept.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, another theme
Hillbillies,
concept.
Hillbillies moving to LA, to Hollywood, you know, to Beverly Hills. And again, another show that took us from black and white, to color.
Now this is a classic here. Jeff, if you can take us out, he did.
Yep, there it is.
There it is. Dick Van Dyke tripping over the ottoman.
Yep.
And he did that every week.
Name the other actors there in the shot with him.
You know what? You have to help me with that one.
Okay,
Mark.
you know the lady,
Go ahead.
the dark-haired lady.
Miss Van Dyke.
Oh yeah. Okay, Steve.
Okay.
Where were you when this show was on TV?
I didn't watch that too much.
That's the great Mary Tyler Moore.
Oh, Mary, that's
Of course.
Okay.
That's Maury Amsterdam.
Right. Okay.
And the other lady,
It's coming back to me now.
Rosemary.
Rosemary.
That's it.
That's right. Okay.
Rosemary.
Yeah, it wasn't my show. It wasn't one of my favorites. I remember the song though.
Yeah.
We all have our favorite shows to
When
watch.
he would fall over the. Oh, well, there. Now let's
Okay.
talk about this picture.
I know their names.
Yes, well, of course. And this picture is there because somebody, I understand, met this gentleman.
You know what? I did. Me. That's Ron Ely, and of course Cheetah. But I saw Ron Ely at Montgomery Ward's modeling suits. I guess it was back in either the late 60s, early 70s. And it was at the Montgomery Wards on Del Mabry and 275, where the old cash and carry was. In fact, we had a picture of that last week.
There were about 3 or 4 Tarzans, were there not?
But I was a kid. Well, there was Johnny Weissmuller.
Johnny Weissmuller was the one that everybody,
Right.
the original,
Right.
the Olympic swimmer, black and white TV. And Ron Ely was kind of a...
He was the educated Tarzan, though.
Yeah, he was.
He got a
Phi
college
Beta
degree.
Kappa, good-looking
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Had the hair going.
But great show.
That looks like the cheetah that we had at, the picture that we had of the cheetah from Lowry Park.
You know it does.
Does it?
It's-
Where did you think that was?
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Here we go.
If that doesn't evoke any calls, we're going to leave and check the lines, Jeff, because our phones have gone dead. And I can't believe that because we have
we go.
literally millions of viewers out there. Here we go. Here we go. Now we got 2 calls. Jeff
at
checks
this.
the... Is that you? Oh, that was Jeff calling us. Thank you, Jeff,
Okay.
for checking our lines. We'll get the 15-minute
Well, we do have an email.
Oh, we'll read that email.
Let's go ahead and read this. Let me put my glasses on here.
Let's go.
Okay, we have this is from Edie Strickland.
Oh, E. Strickland.
Hi, Edie. Hey guys, I told you earlier that Social Network, Dark Shadows, was a biggie.
Oh, yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
I remember. I was scared to death. of that show. It was
1960s.
really
Barnabas
scary.
Jones.
Barnabas Jones.
Barnabas. Just Barnabas, not Barnabas Jones.
Barnabas Collins.
Thank you.
There you go. See?
You couldn't remember
Yeah.
Mary Tyler Moore, but you pulled Barnabas Collins.
Well, I watched that show.
There you go.
But anyway, Dark Shadows was a biggie, and so was Mod Squad and Laugh-In.
Oh, man.
And also, when I was real young, I loved the Ernie Kovacs show. Good
Oh,
job
yeah.
as usual. Oh, her lucky number. Let's get her down. 22.
Okay.
And if I'm picking a sponsor, I'll take Frank Cueto Bell Bonds.
Uh-oh. Somebody's been researching. Somebody has been researching.
Edie, you been doing your homework? Thank you.
Nice.
Okay, we're going to give you a gold star for that. And let's see if we have any more emails here.
Excellent.
Callers, don't forget to call in, and the number is 977-6800. 977-6800.
We'll get Mr. Haney to call back in.
You may
from
have
Brazil.
to. Hey, how about a Jimmy Genie?
Well, Barbara Eden. Remember the big controversy there with her?
No.
You don't remember?
No. I remember
Whether
she-
or not she could show her belly button, blah, blah, blah,
Oh.
blah, blah, because this was in the 60s. And I mean, let's talk about that. Dick Van Dyke and Mary Tyler Moore. Married? Separate beds.
Okay.
Lucy and Ricky? Married? Separate twin beds.
Yeah.
Couldn't say the word pregnant. And,
It was-
and the controversy with Barbara Eden's outfit, which was very revealing.
It was a different world.
Yeah,
That
of course.
was probably considered very risque at the time, I'm sure.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, to answer all those questions. And it became even more risque when it went to color because then you didn't have to imagine what color it was. Because then you knew.
That's true. That's funny.
Yeah, there's
But,
the Munsters again.
The Munsters were just great.
And of course, name the characters.
Well, you had Marilyn,
Yes.
Grandpa,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
Lillian,
Yes.
or Lily,
Lily.
and of course Herman Munster. But of course, the oddball in that picture is Marilyn,
Yeah.
the ugly one.
The ugly one.
Remember,
They refer to- they
she
refer-
can never get a date. Remember
Right.
in the show?
Right. And the actors around the horn?
Well, that's Fred Gwynn. That's Al Lewis. I don't remember Eddie or
Butch Patrick?
Butch Patrick. That's right. That's
And the
right.
lady, the actress, the dark-haired actress?
Yvonne DiCarlo,
Yvonne DiCarlo. That's absolutely correct. The
You
one
know-
that I'm not going to remember right now?
Marianne. I mean,
Marilyn.
Marilyn. You know what? There was 2 or 3 Marilyns.
Oh, there was? Okay, because
Yeah, there was
that
more
one
than
doesn't
one.
look like the
Right.
original one.
Right, there was
to
two.
me. And maybe it wasn't.
There was more than one Marilyn.
Okay. Well, listen.
And you know what? We got
Oh,
another
the real
email.
McCoys. This is. Oh, you got another one?
Yeah.
Excellent. This is. Look at Grandpa. Senor Grandpa. Senor Grandpa. Now, who was the guy next to Senor Grandpa? He looks like he doesn't even belong in that shot.
Is that?
That's Richard Crenna's son. That's Richard Crenna's son, right? In the show. That's Richard Crenna, but I'm talking about the kid. See the kid?
You know, I've never watched the Real McCoys.
Oh yeah, I remember
I
watching.
didn't watch that at all.
Rumor had it that Grandpa Walter Brennan put a pebble in his shoe to simulate that limp.
Wow.
Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, this is Carmen Nunez from South Tampa.
Hi, Carmen
Oh,
Nunez.
I know her.
Turn down your TV and talk to us.
All right, I've muted the TV.
Excellent.
We haven't talked about the game shows.
I know.
Yeah.
What's my line?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Absolutely.
I love that one.
$4,000 question.
Yes.
That was a lot of money back then.
Yes.
Okay, we take it up from there.
Well, that was our quandary when we were putting the show together. How do we narrow the focus down because there was so much great
Right.
television?
Right.
I mean, there's also going to be a show forthcoming about cartoons because you can't forget the cartoons that were being produced back in the 60s and 70s as well. And then there was the game shows,
The variety shows.
And Steve and I will talk about our shows here in just a minute. And we've got a list of over 200 shows that my man Steve put together here, and we've got our shows forthcoming too. Carmen Nunez, did you have a favorite TV show?
Yes. What's my line?
Oh, what's
Oh,
my
there you
line?
go.
Really?
Okay, that was a good show. It was one of my favorites too.
I liked it because I liked
and,
it at the very end when they came in, they blindfolded everybody, correct?
Right,
And they had the mystery guest?
And Soupy Sales played on it. Nipsey Russell.
One smart mouth who always guessed who that guest was.
Right. There was, and the ladies were Kitty Carlisle
Carlisle.
and Peggy Cass. Where did I pull that out?
Good job. I don't know.
From whence that came? Well, Carmen Nunez, do you also have a lucky number?
Yeah, 22.
Oh, that's been chosen by Edie Strickland just a moment ago. Try again.
29.
29, and do you have a sponsor of the week?
Yes, PJ Cuesta.
Oh, PJ. Okay, PJ Testa. Very
you go.
good.
There you go.
Thank you. There's a first PJ Testa reference, Mr. Testa. You're not forgotten. We remember you're out there doing your business now. Of course, he's probably still at the office. Thank you, Carmen Nunez, for your call.
It's going great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carmen.
Talk to you soon.
Hey, we just got
Alrighty,
Bye-bye.
bye.
just got a note from Bruce Dexter.
Oh, Bruce Dexter.
And,
Let me write that
Bruce
down.
Dexter. I went to high school with Bruce, and he said he's tuning in right now.
Bruce, call us
And,
up.
Bruce, give us a call. Tell us about those shows you posted on that big social networking site.
Mm-hmm.
The one where you click the like button, the one you poke. But anyway, give us a call.
Do you have to go that far? With the liking and the poking? I mean, I think we know what that social networking
They
site
probably know.
is.
He probably knows, right? Hopefully, right? But anyway, give us a call. And by the way, thanks for tuning in tonight.
Absolutely.
Got an email
Did
from
he
Lily
say? Did
Munster.
he say what his show or lucky number? Favorite number of our show?
No, he didn't do that. Well, in fact, that's another reason to call in, Bruce.
Yeah.
Give us your lucky number or email it in if you like, and tell us your
Look
sponsor of the
at
week.
George Reeves, man. Look
Oh,
at
there he
George
is.
Reeves
There he is.
and Perry White. And I can't remember the actors' names. Jimmy Olsen, of course, Lois Lane, and I wish I could remember the actors' names. But this was my favorite show. Big Mike Padrina said the same thing, that he used to rush home every day to watch Superman. And I can remember doing the same thing. Coming home from school, you're in the first, second grade, and the shows are very predictable. And one of our avid fans and one of our dear friends, Everett Montiel, asked this question earlier in a discussion thread on that social networking site where apparently you poke and like a lot. Why was it that the Man of Steel could sit there brazenly with his hands on his hips and bullets would deflect off the S on his shirt But yet he had to duck whenever they threw a gun at him. I don't understand that.
Or a chair.
Or a chair. And Everett raised a good point. Why would he have to duck?
Yes.
I mean, the bullet's going off his chest, but of course the gun, if it ever did hit him in the head, it would hurt because this was TV in the early 60s.
And the show started with faster than a speeding bullet.
More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings.
In a single bound.
Yeah.
There you go. Classics.
Well,
really.
here you go. Talk a little bit about this, Steve.
This is a good one. Do you remember this show?
Yes, I do.
This is Doc Tari. And
Yes.
The famous line, I don't know the actors really, but the line in the middle is Clarence the Cross-Eyed Lion.
Yes.
And also there was a chimpanzee on there called Judy the Chimp.
Yes.
But anyway, it was a local, not local, but it was a great show.
It was local because you used to watch
I
it
used
in
to watch
your
it.
house.
Well,
so it was very
it was
local,
local to me.
you.
Local to
Came
me,
into your
exactly.
house,
It was.
Of course.
But the lion was hilarious because they would actually, show his eyes crossed
And then
give him the name.
And give it, Clarence the Cross-Eyed Cat.
Kind of a mean thing to do to the lion, though.
Well, and didn't this show, if I'm not mistaken, I remember seeing Born Free at the Tampa Theater when it came out, and Born Free was also during the time of Doc Tari because there was a genuine interest in all things lion at the time.
Right.
Remember?
Oh yeah, that was a classic.
I didn't
too.
dream that up, did I?
I don't think
Okay,
so.
we got a call. Let's see who's on the phone.
Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name. Where are you calling from?
Hey, Steve, this is Bruce Dexter.
Bruce Dexter, you
called
called in.
We had a call out for Bruce Dexter, and look at Bruce.
And he responded.
Attaboy, Bruce.
Bruce, thanks so much for posting those things and also for calling in, too.
Thank you. Hey, I just want to let you know I'm loving the show, and I can just kind of run down and tell you my favorites here.
Okay.
Of course, Beverly Hillbillies. I see somebody already mentioned it. Munsters, Gomer Pyle.
Golly.
I guess I could go on and on.
Please do.
Then Lost in Space, Star Trek. So, yeah, there were a lot of really great ones.
Oh, weren't they though, Bruce? I mean, that was just a different era, different time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. Those were the days.
Yep.
That's the word.
My friend.
They were. I mean,
I believe, I'm going to tell you, I didn't realize that you were one of the hosts. I mean,
look at him, huh? How's he doing?
Hey,
Bruce, tell him, how's he looking?
I wasn't meaning to ignore you, with all of the, the other invites. I just thought, you were saying, hey, make sure to check out the show because it's really good. But hey, you're doing a fabulous.
Hey, well, thanks, and I appreciate that. But is this your first time watching the show? Obviously, then.
It is.
But, okay.
Yes.
Well, thanks for watching it. We had a great season last season, and this season is off to a great start too. So stay with us, and it's going to get even better.
Okay, absolutely,
Yeah.
I will.
Tell all your friends about the show.
Exactly,
And before
exactly.
Bruce, before we let you go, you got to tell us your lucky number. We do a little drawing that you're going to see here in the next few minutes. Between lucky number between 1 and 75.
4.
4, very good. And
tell
you
them about
you may not know, but if you go to TampaNativeShow.com, we have a dedicated website for our show. There along the right-hand side, you'll see all of our sponsors, and across the top as well, all of our sponsors listed. The 15-minute girl is going to come out here in just a few minutes, and she's going to have something in a box, the magic blue box. And it's going to be an article of either a hat or a shirt, perhaps, and it's from one of our sponsors. Do you happen to know who our sponsors are currently?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's your homework assignment, Bruce,
Yep, homework
for
assignment.
next week. So when you call in, you can call in and possibly win that article of clothing as well.
Hey, great. Okay, I'm definitely going to go for it.
Thanks.
Good,
Thank
good.
you so much
Thanks,
for being
Bruce.
there, and welcome to the show.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you, Bruce.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
We have another belated drawing number
Please.
here and a mystery guest.
Okay,
So,
good.
Here we go.
And the name of the party is?
It's Mike McCall
Oh, Mike, okay.
and number 48,
Okay.
and the mystery sponsor is La Segunda Central.
Oh, you know what? We had
We had that chosen
Tony,
already.
Tony Gonzalez picked La Segunda Central. So, Mike, if
Mike,
you're out there
yeah.
watching, and you probably are, don't be bashful. Pick up the phone. There's 2 lines open. You can call us and tell us real quick your sponsor guess. And your TV show, your favorite TV show. There's Red Skelton right there.
There you go. Oh, he was great, wasn't he?
What was he, did he have a favorite TV show?
He didn't have one, actually. Let's see. No.
Operators are standing by. Give us a call. Who's that man right there in that photograph?
That's Steve Allen.
That is the great
Yeah,
Steve
he was,
Allen,
He was fantastic, wasn't he?
who was a Tonight Show host, if I'm not mistaken.
Before Johnny Carson, right?
There was Jack Parr, there was Steve Allen, and of course, the great Johnny Carson, and then Jay Leno after that. Well, we
Wow.
can tell by that time, darling, stand by just a
This
moment.
is.
We can tell by that time.
How did this hour go by so fast already?
It's flying
I
by.
know. Yeah, it's
Callers,
incredible.
if you're out there, we see you. Stand by. We've got a little presentation to make. Darling, stand in here.
Here's your box, sir.
Thank you. This is the blue box that we're always
Hello,
discussing.
50-minute girl.
This feels different.
Feels good, doesn't it? Well, are you ready, Edith?
I'm ready, Archie.
From Television City in Hollywood.
Boy, the way Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made the hit parade.
Guys like us, we had it made. Those were the days.
And you knew when you were there.
Girls were girls and men were men. Mister, we could use a man like Herbert Hoover again. Didn't need no welfare states.
Everybody pulled their weight.
G.R. rode LaSalle ran great. Those were the days.
That's good. Very good.
Okay, guys.
Good job. Good job.
Well, do you care to reveal what's in the lucky?
Carefully
What's in the
reveal
box?
what's in the box.
And the winning sponsor
Without showing it because we can't show
right,
the logo.
right.
Oh,
The winning sponsor is
Amaryllis.
Amaryllis
Restaurant.
Sandwich and More. And let me go back.
We had lunch there today.
We sure did, and that should have been an indication to somebody out there watching.
That would have been a hint.
That would have been a gigantic hint.
I'm going to leave this with you.
Leave
or
it.
you want to take-
You can take it with you, my love.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
Bye, guys.
Great
Bye.
job. Great job, Ian.
Thank you, darling. That was lovely. We've been rehearsing that all week, so we hope that came off well.
That came out great, Mario.
We think it did
Sally,
anyway.
we really did.
Thank you so much for that, Steve.
Very nice.
For the applause. Well, nobody won the Amaryllis T-shirt.
No. I
Na,
can't
na,
believe it.
na, 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 na.
There they go.
Name those two actors.
Well, that's Adam West
And
Burt Ward.
Burt Ward.
How do I
Burt
remember
Ward looks like he's about 12 years older than
that?
that.
He does.
I don't know what's going on.
He looks
there.
like he's running out of fear, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
no, he does, because Batman is chasing him.
But that wasn't the best picture.
No.
Batman.
You know,
Robin shouldn't be afraid, though, right?
Not at all.
Okay.
But look at his arms. I mean, hit the gym, baby. Come on, Rob. Hit the gym. You're a crime fighter, superhero.
Wow, let's read some of these shows that we've
Yes.
so
okay,
earnestly
look.
worked on this week.
Yes.
You know?
Well, we so earnestly worked. I think Steve wants to read these shows because Steve so earnestly worked. But you know what? Rightfully so.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
You read the first 5 or 6, and we'll do the same thing.
All right, follow me now. 12 o'clock high, Adam 12, Alfred Hitchcock, The Andy Griffith Show, The Andy Williams Show,
American Bandstand, Batman, Barnaby Jones, Phyllis Diller Show, Ben Casey, and Benny Hill Show.
The Beverly Hillbillies, Bewitched, The Big Valley, Bing Crosby Show, The Brady Bunch.
Bonanza, Candid Camera, Carol Burnett Show, Columbo, Cannon, Combat.
Cannon, that was the show with Robert Conrad.
Frank Cannon, yep.
That was the show with Robert Conrad. We couldn't think of it today. 15-minute girl and I were discussing that. Doctari, Daniel Boone, Dark Shadows, Dennis the Menace, Deputy Dog, and Dragnet.
Death Valley, Doctor Who, Ed Sullivan Show, The Dating Game, and Days of Our Lives.
The Dean Martin Show, The Dick Van Dyke Show, The Doris Day Show, Dr. Kildare, and F Troop.
The FBI, The Flintstones, Flipper, The Flying Nun, The Fugitive, General Hospital.
Gentle Ben, Get Smart, The Ghost and Mrs. Muir, Gilligan's Island, and The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Gomer Pyle, USMC, Green Acres, The Green Hornet, Gunsmoke, and Hawaii Five-0. Book 'em, Dano.
Hazel, High Chaparral, Hogan's Heroes, Hogan, Honeymooners, Huckleberry Hound, and I Dream of Jeannie.
I Spy, Ironside, It Takes a Thief, The Jack Benny Show, Jetsons.
Joey Bishop Show, Johnny Quest, Johnny Carson, Land of the Giants, and Leave It to Beaver.
Oh, classic. Lassie, Lost in Space, Love American Style, The Lucy Show, and Man from U.N.C.L.E.
That's the second Man from U.N.C.L.E. reference. We
That's
got a pair
right.
of Man from U.N.C.L.E. sightings. Mannix, one of my favorite shows. I didn't get a chance to say that earlier. Mike Connors. Mannix, Marcus Welby, MD, McHale's Navy, Medical Center, Mission Impossible, and Mr. Roberts.
Monty Python's Flying Circus, The Mod Squad, The Monkees, Mr. Ed, The Munsters, and My Mother the Car.
My Three Sons, my favorite Martian.
There you go.
There you go. One Life to Live, The Outer Limits, The Outsider.
Ozzie and Harriet, The Patty Duke Show, Petticoat Junction, Perry Mason, and Peyton Place.
Please Don't Eat the Daisies, Popeye the Sailor Man, Rat Patrol, Rawhide, Real McCoys. Now I didn't read Riddicle because I don't know what that is.
I'm not on either.
I think you made that up.
I think I made a mistake. Copy and paste, you know.
Go ahead.
The Red Skelton Show, you said that. The Riflemen, Rocky Bullwinkle and Friends, Room 222, Route 66.
Route 66.
Route 66, Rowan and Martin's Laughing.
T.H.E. Saint, Saints and Sinners, I don't remember that one. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Secret Agent, Sesame Street, Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour.
Good job. Star Trek, Tarzan, That Girl, Terminus, then came Bronson, Time Tunnel.
To Rome with Love, Tom and Jerry, Twilight Zone. Wow, Twilight Zone.
Wow.
The Untouchables, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea.
This is your favorite. The Wild Wild West, MASH, Happy Days, Dukes of Hazzards, Different Strokes.
The Facts of Life, Three's Company, The Incredible Hulk, Mork and Mindy, Nanu Nanu, WKRP in Cincinnati, and Sanford and Son.
Elizabeth,
I'm coming
coming
to see
for you. Little House on the Prairie, Wonder Woman, Chips, Alice, All in the Family, $6 Million Man.
The Jeffersons, Dallas, Soul Train, Taxi, Emergency.
Charlie's Angels, The Waltons, Welcome Back Kotter, Good Times, The Partridge Family.
Chico and the Man, The Odd Couple, Starsky and Hutch, The Gong Show, and Heart to Heart.
Love Boat, SWAT, Night Gallery, Barney Miller, Streets of San Francisco, and Quincy.
Laverne and Shirley, Kolchak, The Night Stalker. That was Darren
Remember that?
McGavin. That was
That's right.
great,
That was
man.
good. That was
Where'd
really
you pull
good.
that one out of? The Young and the Restless, The Rockford Files, Fantasy Island.
Creature Feature, Soap, Bionic Woman, Kojak, Who Loves You Baby, 8 is Enough, Life and Times of Grizzly Adams.
The Planet of the Apes, The Bob Newhart Show, Macmillan and Wife, The Flip Wilson Show. The devil made me do it.
Tony Orlando and Don, Don Kirshner's Rock Concert, Police Woman, Kung Fu, and the Osmonds.
Wow.
Grasshopper.
And that's just a few. Just
That's
the tip
just
of the
a-
iceberg. We
you're
couldn't
right.
get them all in. Now listen, we've got a Bolita drawing to do and then a couple of announcements to make.
We can't make a mistake like we did last week.
Please.
Fran Constantino
Oh boy.
just sent an email, and she has a Bolita number.
Go,
and,
Franny.
Fran, we won't do what we did last week, or
Yes.
I should say I. Her Bolita number is 62, and her sponsor, well, she's using
her
it's
spon-
her Constantino and Company.
Okay.
Anyway, she wrote, "Hi ho, Mario and Steve. Just like we laughed about Saturday. I love the Three Stooges. Nyuk, 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 woo, woo, woo.
Nyuk, nyuk. Why I oughta.
LMAO, that's an acronym. Got the giggles just like Saturday. I love the Porky Pig cartoon. Love the way he stuttered. And she told me a funny joke Saturday too that was remind me of that. But can I carry you suitcase? But anyway, thanks, Fran.
Thanks, Fran. Thanks, Fran. We'll get to that Bolita drawing
Yep.
right after these two calls real quick. We got running out of time. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it's another dimension. You're moving through a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. There's the signpost up ahead. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
Oh, Hugh, that's fabulous.
Man.
Hugh,
Rod
I can
Serling.
see you watched a little bit of TV in your day.
I couldn't resist. I hadn't heard it mentioned.
Listen, and for bonus points, give us the show that he produced in the 70s that was the color version, if you will, of the Twilight Zone. Go.
He actually was late 60s, early 70s Night Gallery.
Oh, I can't get nothing past
man.
you, Hugh. You're the
Nope.
best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name, where you're calling from.
This is Betty.
Danny.
Oh, Betty, hi.
Oh,
Hi,
Betty.
Betty.
Sorry.
Hi.
Okay. I just wanted to remind y'all about I've Got a Secret with Gary Moore.
I've got a secret.
Oh,
I've got a
that's
secret with
right.
Gary Moore. Absolutely. That was
Oh,
the
yeah.
other big show. What's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
line? I've got a secret. Truth or consequences?
It was very good.
I've got a secret.
Wow, that's good, Betty.
We've got 5 minutes to go, Betty. We're going to have to jump off the phone. But listen, how did the 15-minute girl and I do with our little?
Great. That was great.
Good.
Good.
Because we rehearsed all week for that.
You could tell. You could tell.
Okay, my number is 60.
Okay.
And has the call been made yet?
No, it has not. But you know what? We're going to put you down, and we'll carry that over for next week. How's that?
Okay.
60. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Betty.
Thanks, Betty.
We got to get a Bolita drawing in here real quick. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Mike McCall, Tampa.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Mike.
Hi.
Tell us your story, Michael. We're so happy that you called.
Well, I just wanted to. I sent our email earlier. They didn't read it though.
We got it. We
You did read it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did, because
Yeah,
what we
I
had
did.
from you, we had your lucky number 48, but we didn't get from you was the sponsor of the
Okay.
week. And if you want to, hold that thought. We're going to do this
Yeah.
again next week. Nobody won this week, so it goes right back into the pot. Did you have a favorite show?
Well, the favorite show was Life of Riley.
Oh, Life of Riley. There you go.
Bendix.
Oh, yeah, William Bendix, who also played the story of Babe Ruth, if I'm not
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not mistaken.
Yep, that was one of my favorites, and the other was like Flash Gordon.
Oh, Flash
I forgot about that.
Gordon.
Yeah, that was another
my.
one.
Oh my.
There's just too many.
Michael, would it be bothersome to you if we did a second part of this show next week?
Hey, it would be great.
We're going to have to.
You know what? Because there's so many shows and so many. Now here come the calls hot and heavy. They probably want to tell us how good we sounded as Edith and Archie, and I understand that.
You did great on that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We're running out of time, but listen, call us next week. We're going to talk about it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
You.
All the best.
We can't do this in 1 hour. There's no way.
Oh my gosh, how many minutes do we have left, Jeffrey? A little over 3. Okay, let's get to the
Let's do
Believer
that,
drawing
let's
real
do
quick.
that. We can't
Caller,
miss-
we see you there. Please stand by. Oh gosh, am I going to have trouble opening this bag again? All right.
You do every week.
Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Okay, I'll pick it. You got the numbers ready? Here we go.
You have the
Here's
numbers.
the numbers.
Without going over.
Without going over. Ladies and gentlemen, without going over, caller, stand on the line. We'll get you in just a second. Stevie, read that winner.
That number is, wow, it's dead on. Number 3.
Oh, Joe
Beanie. Good
hey,
call,
you know
Joe.
what? I've been razzing you all along, Joe, because number 3 is down there on the bottom, and the only way you were going to win is if you picked 3.
His strategy worked, though.
Or 4.
Didn't it?
Hey, Joe,
Well,
congratulations.
this was Joe's week, anyway.
This is Joe's week.
What
This
about-
is Joe's week. And if you go to that social networking site, you'll see an interview, post-game interview that was done with the coach of Bayshore Christian High School with one field reporter, Boom, who shall remain nameless. But look for it. It's out there on that social networking site. Joe, I'm so happy. We'll send us an email, Joe. We'll get together for our Café con Leche, and we'll just hand deliver your mug
Exactly.
to you. How's that?
With a coffee in it.
Okay, caller, we got about a minute and a half to go. You're on the air. Tell us your name, where you're calling from.
Tony Gonzalez. Listen, a quick trivia.
Okay.
Route 66.
Yes.
They got lost and they made one here in Tampa with Barbara Eden and everything.
Wow.
And they used the old Skyway Bridge, the courthouse, the old federal courthouse, and everything.
What year would that have been, more or less?
Oh, Jesus. I was probably about 17, 18 years old.
Interesting
So
trivia. That's great.
60s. Barbara Eden
Wow.
was such a fine-looking lady, too,
Yeah.
wasn't she?
Oh, yeah.
She had a lot
Yeah.
of us guys wondering,
Oh, yeah.
what was underneath that little
We all wish we had
thing
that
that she
bottle,
was
you know?
wearing.
Fine-looking lady.
Tony, we'll talk to you next week, Papa. Thanks so much for calling.
Yeah, thanks, Tony.
Bye-bye.
Okay,
The
give me
sponsor.
time check real quick, Jeffrey. Minute 15 seconds. Okay,
mystery
real quick,
sponsor.
we do have. Well, we told Tony we would get together with him to get him his cup.
Right.
To get him his winnings from last week, the Brocados. And we also have to mention that on April the 9th, kind of just keep that in the back of your mind. April 9th, we're going to have a Tampa Native show. We're going to be on hiatus that week, 1 week break. So April 7th, there won't be a show, but April 9th, we're going to have a get together where?
It's going to be at the Showman's.
it's
No,
gonna be
Colonnade.
The
That's
Colonnade.
right. The
Thank
Colonnade.
you. The Colonnade.
Right.
The Colonnade. The Showman's. That's another.
that's
That's
not
another
coming down.
event that's
Yep.
forthcoming, and it's going to be right after the Colonnade
Yeah,
event. The
luncheon at Colonnade.
Greater Tampa Showman's Association has stepped up, and we're gonna have a little get together there too. But just kind of put that in your calendar. April 9th. Probably about 1 o'clock, 1 to 3 o'clock. Well, for those of you that have joined us before at the Columbia, it's going to be similar to that. It's going to be an all-inclusive.
nice time.
And that event will be posted here shortly. Don't forget to visit TampaNativeShow.com. What will they find there, Stevie?
Well, they'll find this list of sponsors. You'll see some clips of our shows, our archive shows from last season and also this season. But also look at the sponsors while you're there on the right-hand side and write them down, because next week when you call in or you send your emails, you can identify your sponsor, your mystery sponsor of the week.
We got about 10 seconds to go.
Thank you so much.
On behalf of the 15-minute girl, Edith tonight.
And great job, guys.
Well, we've been practicing. And my colleague, my co-host, my dear friend, Steve Canella. Salud and happy
Salud.
days,
Happy
Tampa. We
days.
love you. We'll see you next week.
Back when we were younger, and everything seemed new. We used to have a lot of fun, yes we did, no matter what we do. Sleeping days, long summer nights, going anywhere we pleased. This love I've always called my own, a love that I've always known. Yes, I remember Tampa. She remembers me.